Have you ever wondered why some people over 60 seem to get stronger, more energetic, and steadier on their feet, even though they barely go for walks, while others walk every day and still feel stiff, tired, and unstable? What if I told you that one simple chair exercise could activate more muscles, protect your joints, improve circulation, and support your metabolism better than walking, especially after 60? The real problem isn't that walking is bad. The problem is that as we age, walking alone often stops giving the body the signal it truly needs. Muscles shrink, balance weakens, joints complain, and energy drops. In this video, I'm going to show you a powerful solution, one chair-based movement that works with your body instead of against it, and why it may be far more effective than walking at this stage of life. Let's start with something most people don't realize. After 60, your body changes how it responds to exercise. You don't lose strength simply because you're aging. You lose strength because certain muscles stop being fully activated. Walking mainly uses the same limited muscle pattern over and over again. It's forward motion, low resistance, and very predictable. That's fine when you're younger, and your nervous system is sharp, your joints are flexible, and your muscles respond quickly. But after 60, your body needs clearer signals. It needs muscle engagement, joint stability, and nervous system activation. Walking doesn't always provide that anymore. Another hidden issue is safety. Walking sounds safe, but for many seniors, it increases the risk of joint strain, hip discomfort, knee pain, and even falls, especially if balance is already compromised. Uneven ground, poor posture, and weak stabilizer muscles turn a simple walk into a stressor instead of a benefit. And when pain shows up, people stop moving altogether. That's where decline accelerates. Now here's where the chair comes in. A chair isn't a limitation, it's a tool. When you use a chair correctly, it gives you stability, so your body can focus on what really matters: muscle activation, controlled movement, and proper breathing. This is where the magic happens. The exercise I'm talking about is simple, but it sends a very powerful signal to your body. It tells your muscles to wake up. It tells your joints to stabilize. It tells your nervous system, we're still strong, we're still capable. When you sit and perform this movement correctly, you engage the large muscle groups of the legs, especially the thighs and glutes. These are some of the most important muscles in the entire body. They play a huge role in blood sugar balance, circulation, posture, and independence. Weak legs are one of the fastest paths to loss of mobility. Strong legs, on the other hand, support the heart, protect the knees, and even help the brain by improving blood flow. But this exercise doesn't stop at the legs. It also activates the core muscles, the deep stabilizers that protect your spine and improve balance. Walking barely challenges these muscles, especially if posture is poor. Sitting upright and moving with intention forces your core to engage. This improved posture reduces back discomfort and makes everyday movements like standing up, climbing stairs, or getting out of a car much easier. There's also something very important happening at the metabolic level. As we age, insulin sensitivity tends to decline. That means the body has a harder time handling sugar. Large muscles, when activated, act like sponges for glucose. This chair exercise strongly activates those muscles, helping the body use sugar more efficiently. Walking, especially at a slow pace, doesn't always provide enough stimulus to do that effectively. Breathing is another overlooked factor. Many people walk while shallow breathing, especially if they're tense or distracted. This keeps the body in a low-energy state. When you perform this chair exercise properly, breathing becomes deeper and more controlled. Oxygen delivery improves, the nervous system shifts out of stress mode, energy levels rise instead of falling. And here's the most encouraging part. This exercise meets you where you are. You don't need perfect balance. You don't need special equipment. You don't need to push through pain. You can adjust the intensity simply by how slowly and deliberately you move. That's something walking doesn't allow. Walking is all or nothing. This movement is intelligent, adaptable, and sustainable. People often think that more movement is better, but after 60, better movement is better. Quality beats quantity every time. One focused chair exercise done correctly can do more for your strength, balance, circulation, and confidence than a long walk done with poor mechanics and tired muscles. As we move forward, I'm going to show you exactly how this one chair exercise works, how to do it safely, and why it has such a profound effect on the aging body. Once you understand what's happening inside your muscles and nervous system during this movement, you'll never look at exercise the same way again. Now let's get very clear about the movement itself and why it's so powerful when done the right way. This is not about rushing. It's not about repetitions. It's about sending the correct signal to your body. When you sit on a chair and perform this exercise with intention, you are retraining muscles that may have been asleep for years. That's why many people feel results very quickly, sometimes within days. Start by sitting toward the front edge of a sturdy chair. Your feet are flat on the floor, about hip-width apart. Immediately, posture matters. Most people slump without realizing it. Slouching shuts down muscle activation and compresses breathing. Instead, sit tall. Imagine a string gently lifting the top of your head upward. Your chest opens, shoulders relax down and back, and your spine lengthens. This alone already improves circulation and nerve communication. Now here's the key movement. You slowly press your feet into the floor as if you're about to stand, but you don't fully stand. You lift just enough to engage the thighs and glutes, then slowly lower yourself back down. That slow lifting and controlled lowering is what makes this exercise superior. Walking doesn't give you this kind of muscle loading. This does. When you rise even slightly from the chair, the body recruits powerful muscles in the legs. These muscles send signals to the brain that say, "We're strong, we're stable." This improves coordination and balance over time. Many falls happen not because people trip, but because their muscles don't react fast enough. This exercise trains that reaction safely. The slow lowering phase is even more important. As you lower yourself back to the chair with control, the muscles lengthen under tension. This strengthens them in a very joint-friendly way. It nourishes the knees instead of grinding them. Walking, especially downhill or on hard surfaces, often does the opposite. It repeatedly compresses the joints without enough muscle control. Breathing ties everything together. As you gently press up, breathe in through your nose. As you slowly lower down, breathe out. This breathing pattern activates the diaphragm, which works closely with the core muscles. A strong diaphragm improves posture, reduces tension, and supports balance. Many people don't realize that balance is deeply connected to breathing. Shallow breathing equals poor stability. Another major benefit here is circulation. Sitting for long periods slows blood flow, especially to the legs. Walking helps, but only temporarily. This chair exercise actively pumps blood through the muscles and back toward the heart. It also improves lymphatic movement, which supports immune health and reduces swelling in the legs and ankles. That's why some people notice less heaviness or stiffness after doing this consistently. What about energy? Many seniors say walking makes them tired, not energized. That's because walking can be too repetitive and not stimulating enough for the nervous system. This exercise, on the other hand, creates a mild challenge. It wakes up the nervous system without overwhelming it. That leads to better energy levels throughout the day instead of exhaustion. There's also a hormonal effect. When large muscles are activated, The body releases substances that support muscle maintenance and metabolic health. This becomes increasingly important with age when muscle loss accelerates if it's not challenged. You're not just exercising muscles, you're preserving independence. And let's talk about consistency. One of the biggest reasons exercise fails after 60 is because it's inconvenient or uncomfortable. This chair exercise removes those barriers. You can do it at home, you can do it while watching TV. You can do it even on days when the weather is bad or when your joints feel sensitive. That consistency is what creates results. As strength improves, something interesting happens. Standing up becomes easier. Stairs feel less intimidating. Walking itself often improves, not because you walked more, but because your muscles and balance got better. That's the irony. This exercise can actually make walking safer and more enjoyable, even though it's done sitting down. In the next part, I'll explain how often to do this, common mistakes that reduce its benefits, and how to progress it gently so your body continues to adapt without strain. Now let's talk about how to use this exercise in a way that truly changes your body over time. Because the secret isn't intensity, it's precision and consistency. Many people think they need to feel sore or exhausted for an exercise to work. After 60, that mindset often leads to setbacks. This movement works best when it feels controlled, smooth, and surprisingly doable. Frequency matters more than duration. Doing this chair exercise once a day, even for just a few minutes, sends a daily reminder to your muscles and nervous system that they are still needed. That reminder prevents decline. It's far more effective than doing a long walk a few times a week and then spending the rest of the time sitting. The body responds best to regular signals, not occasional effort. One of the most common mistakes people make is rushing. Speed turns this into momentum instead of muscle work. When you rush, joints take over and muscles step back. The slower you move, the more your muscles must engage. Slow movement also sharpens the brain's connection to the body. That mind-muscle connection weakens with age if it's not trained. This exercise rebuilds it. Another mistake is collapsing at the bottom of the movement. If you simply drop back into the chair, you lose half the benefit. The goal is to lightly touch the chair and maintain control. Think of it as hovering for a moment before fully sitting. That control strengthens the muscles that protect your knees and hips. It also builds confidence in your ability to support your own weight. Foot position is also important. Feet too far forward reduce muscle engagement. Feet too far back strain the knees. Keeping them flat and under you allows the strongest muscles to do the work. If you ever feel sharp pain, that's a signal to reduce range, slow down, or rest. Discomfort is not required for progress. As weeks go by, you may notice subtle changes first. Standing up from bed feels easier. You don't need to push off armrests as much. Your posture improves without effort. These are signs that your nervous system is adapting. Strength isn't just about muscle size, it's about coordination and timing. This exercise trains both. Balance improves quietly. Many people don't realize their balance is better until they notice they're less cautious, less fearful of movement. Fear of falling is often worse than weakness itself. This chair exercise rebuilds trust between your brain and your body. That trust is critical for independence. You can gently progress this exercise without making it risky. One way is to slow the movement even more. Another is to pause for a few seconds at the top where your muscles are fully engaged. You can also lightly cross your arms over your chest instead of using your hands for support, as long as it feels safe. Each small change increases the challenge without stressing the joints. What's powerful about this movement is that it respects recovery. Walking long distances can create inflammation, especially in aging joints. This exercise strengthens without overloading. That means you can do it consistently without needing long recovery periods. Consistency is what changes your trajectory. There's also a mental benefit. Many seniors feel discouraged when exercise feels hard or painful. This movement restores a sense of capability. You feel in control. You feel steady. That positive feedback loop motivates you to keep moving, which then improves health even further. Over time, this one-chair exercise can influence more than just strength. Improved muscle activity supports better blood sugar regulation. Better circulation supports heart health. Improved posture supports breathing and digestion. All of these systems are connected. When you strengthen the foundation, everything above it benefits. Walking still has value, but it should complement strength, not replace it. Think of walking as movement and this chair exercise as preparation. When your muscles are awake and your balance is strong, walking becomes safer and more enjoyable again. Without that foundation, walking alone often leads to plateaus or discomfort. The real goal after 60 isn't just to move more, it's to move better, feel stronger, and maintain independence for as long as possible. This one simple chair exercise does exactly that, not by pushing your body, but by teaching it to work efficiently again. And when your body remembers how to work with you instead of against you, everything changes.